What if I told you that your loved one with dementia might be saying no to food, not because they're stubborn, but because their brain might be tricking them into thinking it's not food at all? Hi, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Today, I'm going to teach you a completely different way to look at mealtime refusals. I'm talking, care partners, about the fact that your loved one's brain might be taking that lovely mashed potato on the plate and interpreting it as a dirty puddle, or spaghetti as a messy tangle of wires. That is why they're refusing. I'll show you how to spot the 5 most common reasons and most overlooked reasons that people with dementia push away food and what you can do that will actually work. This isn't just theory, care partners. This is about understanding how the brain changes with dementia and how to respond and adapt with empathy during mealtime. Let's jump on in. Care partners, before we jump into the reasons that your loved one with dementia is likely refusing food, I do want to normalize the fact that this can be so exhausting. This video came about from one of my clients who came into session so frustrated. She had tried all the advice out there that she could find, and her loved one with dementia was still not eating. She set the table up to look like a restaurant, beautiful candlelight music going on in the background, etc. All of the things that you guys have probably seen before. And while that will work for some people with dementia, it's not going to be universal, because what some of that generic advice is missing, care partners, is an in-depth understanding of what happens to the brain and the body with dementia. That is what you're going to get here today. What do I mean by that? Well, if your loved one's brain, as I mentioned earlier, is seeing that beautiful plate of spaghetti as a messy tangle of wires, it doesn't matter how beautiful the setting is or how beautiful the music is on in the background. They're still not going to eat it. It's messy wires, right? Would you? So, care partners, today's video is to give you a little bit of a deeper understanding of what's happening to your loved one's brain so that you can respond with empathy. I do want to say I am not knocking any advice that's out there. I applaud anyone whose life service is to help care partners, but I do want to give you a little bit more because some of that general advice out there is missing these important critical pieces, and that's why you're still struggling. So let's jump on in. The first reason your loved one with dementia may be refusing food is because of sensory overload or overstimulation, as well as sensory understimulation. What do I mean by that? Your loved one's brain with dementia may not be registering taste or smell of food anymore. So that's understimulation. Overstimulation would be that there may be too many sensory experiences going on the plate. So for example, you may have a lovely garlic mashed potatoes and then lemon chicken, right? So it's a lot of the garlic smell and a lot of the lemony smell all on one plate. That could be overstimulating for a loved one with dementia. For someone's brain that's understimulating, then great, let's give them all the flavors and let's see if that stimulates the brain. But for someone who's experiencing too much stimulation, then all of those flavors might be overwhelming. So here are a few quick fixes, care partners. Because I'm not working with you personally, you'll have to experiment to see what's going on with your loved one's brain, if it's understimulating or overstimulating that's causing them to refuse food. First, you can reduce the visual clutter on the plate. So not having that plate filled with a lot of items on there. That could be overstimulating for your loved one with dementia. I also recommend, care partners, to use a solid colored dish. I recommend red because that helps the brain to interpret the other items on the plate with a bit more ease. Also, care partners, limit competing smells or loud environmental experiences. So if your loved one with dementia does enjoy having a bit of soft music in the background, great. But as you're experimenting, you may want to remove additional stimuli in the background just to see if perhaps there was overstimulation going on. The second reason that your loved one with dementia might be refusing food, care partners, is because of visual-spatial perceptual changes that's going on with the brain. What do I mean by that? So your 5 senses, care partners, take in what's happening in the world around you. Well, with a brain with dementia, it skews that information. So what you're seeing is not what your loved one with dementia is necessarily seeing. What feels gentle on your skin may feel harsh on their skin. What's a lovely smell for you may be a harsh smell for them. Or they may say that they're smelling something burning when there's nothing burning around. So again, their five senses is getting a little warped with dementia. And knowing that, care partners, your loved one with dementia may not recognize food on the plate or may not even recognize the plate at all. For this fix, care partners, I want for you to use high contrast dishware. So a solid white plate, colorful food on that white plate. Or, as I mentioned in the last fix, a red plate. Okay, that will help with the brain contrast. Avoid patterned placements. Save the patterned beautiful china for when guests arrive, not for your loved one with dementia. Okay, it's just too much for their brain. Keep it simple, care partners. In addition to the visual and spatial and perceptual changes that's occurring in the brain, a loved one's brain with dementia also is more prone to fear and paranoia. So that's the third reason I often see loved ones with dementia refusing food. They think that you're trying to poison them or someone is trying to poison them. I often see this with loved ones with dementia who have Lewy body dementia. So the fix here, care partners, is you want to reassure your loved one with dementia. Sit and eat with them. Say, let's eat together. You can even eat off of each other's plates or prepare two plates, have them select which one they want. It gives them empowerment in selecting the food, and then they'll see you eating the other plate. And so that helps them, care partners, to feel a little bit more reassured. Here's your food. You get to pick which one you want. Care partners, if this is helpful for you, if you are learning some new skills and information that you didn't know about meal refusals before, then go ahead and comment below what was new for you and what you're going to experiment with in terms of these fixes. And if you know of another care partner who's struggling with the same topic, then please go ahead and share this video so that more and more people can benefit from it. Let's move on to the fourth reason that I tend to see people with dementia refuse foods, and that is often physical discomfort. So as the brain deteriorates, care partners, it affects many different muscle groups, including the muscles around swallowing. So your loved one with dementia may have some swallowing pain known as dysphagia. Another reason that I often see a person with dementia refuse food is because of sore gums or maybe ill-fitted dentures. As your loved one ages, they may need to have a new fitting of their dentures, okay? There may even be constipation, something that you didn't think about. Because of anosognosia, your loved one with dementia is likely not drinking enough water. They're not realizing that they need to have more water, and so they may be constipated, care partners. And if you're constipated, then you're not going to want to take in more food when you can't even eliminate what's already in there. So keeping in mind that there's a lot of physical discomfort that can come around eating, from it going in to it coming out. And so in that case, here are some of the fixes that I recommend for that. First and foremost, you want to have your loved one with dementia medically evaluated. Okay, and so for the dysphagia, I recommend a speech therapist. Speech therapists don't only work with someone around language and speech, they also help your loved one with dementia with swallowing exercises that help to relieve some of that pain. I also recommend softer foods with a loved one with dementia. Okay, that may help with some of their sore gums. And also recommend cold options. Those cold options, ice cream, popsicle, that also helps with sore gums. It feels soothing to sore gums. You can also offer finger foods if utensils are hard for your loved one to use. The fifth reason I see a loved one with dementia refusing food, care partners, I hinted at in our last example, which is the loss of thirst as well as the loss of hunger cues. So their brain may not be registering the fact that they're thirsty or hungry, or it may not even be registering the fact when they're full. And so here are a couple of fixes, care partners. Offer small portions, but more often throughout the day. You can also create a routine around food. Perhaps your loved one with dementia can help you to set the table as you're plating the food. You may also, care partners, want to use visual and scent-based appetite triggers. So for example, warm bread in the oven. That is a lovely smell that often triggers us to eat. Care partners, to recap, you now understand that food refusal has nothing to do with the lovely plate of food that you've placed in front of your loved one with dementia, and all to do with the brain changes that's occurring because of their dementia. And so just to recap here, you now know that food refusal is probably because of over or under stimulation. You now know that it's because of perceptual changes in the brain. Your loved one might not even be recognizing food as food anymore. You also understand that there's fear and paranoia now involved around food refusals. And you now know that there's physical discomfort that will now have to be evaluated medically. As well, your loved one with dementia might be missing hunger cues. I hope this was helpful to you, care partners. After watching this video, care partners, you probably want to know what to do with your loved one around other activities other than mealtime. If that's the case, then go ahead and watch the next video where I show you how to engage your loved one with dementia in exciting activities that's both fun for them, for you, and if you have kiddos, for the kiddos as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.